Alright, so here we are tonight. This is CEVO Season 2, Week 5, the match of the week between Team Magikarp and Quetzal. Not positive what their records are right now, but I imagine they're both doing pretty well. But anyway, we're right into the bans, it looks like we are. So Team Magikarp taking out the Wisp. Don't want to be forced into any sort of play and don't want to play it themselves, as they do have the first pick here. So they take out the Wisp despite having the first pick. So something else in mind for Team Magikarp. And Quetzal... too much casting tonight. They ban off the Bat Riders, so pretty standard ban there. Now it's up to Team Magikarp. What are they going to take out? There's a lot of options here in the second ban if you want to eliminate some carries, and then I was going to get to that eventually. You can also even take out OD, as he's pretty popular in the scene right now, so OD taken out as the second ban by Team Magikarp. I like that. OD's strong. He's fun to play. I don't know. He's annoying to play against. Whatever, I'll put that on hold. Lifestealer here, banned out by Quetzal. So Bat Rider, Lifestealer banned, seeing a lot of that by teams these days. In every level of play, people realizing both of those heroes are really strong. And Wisp, definitely banned out a lot. OD, maybe more of a second round ban. He is somewhat counterable, I guess. There's a few mids who do well against him, so picking him up first might reveal a lot in your lineup, so I don't know if he's quite first ban material. Maybe he is, I don't know. Team Magikarp, they pick up the Darkseer, so going to be running potential 1v1 Darkseer lane, Darkseer just off lane. He's still very good there, given the right matchups. Could go mid if, I don't know, a TA or something's picked up, and then worst case, maybe worst case, I don't know, you can just abandon, put Darkseer in the jungle, and then Quetzal picking up their first two picks moderately quickly. It looks like they have a bit of a game plan. The Rubik here, going to be the first pick for them, so still a great hero. Requires a little bit of synergy with whoever's going to be put in lane with them, and then Nature's Prophet picked up as well. Second, which is not the most popular second round pick. A lot of teams have started doing it. He's pretty hard to just shut down completely. If he gets any farm or ganks well early, can be a pain in the late game, doing a lot of damage, a lot of CC if he's decided to go a sheep stick, or just a lot of split pushing, which everyone pretty much knows Nature's Prophets love to do. And then Team Magikarp, they pick up potentially a mid here. You see Alchemist mid a lot these days. Could be the carry, you know, in a tri-lane or solo safe. He does well 1v1 in a lot of circumstances, especially if he picks up his offensive spells early on, like Unstable Concoction and Acid Spray, to be able to zone anyone off the lane or even pick up a kill pretty early on. And because of this, they did they did nerf his Chemical Rage a little bit in the latest patch, but overall still a great hero, and we see him picked up more and more as the Dota 2 meta continues to evolve. But the bans actually took a while. This is like the slowest CEVO draft I've ever experienced. Clockwork here, gonna be banned out, so still a very strong offlaner despite the changes to cogs, no longer moving BKB or raged targets, but still a physical barrier nonetheless, and a good hero for pickoffs. Would do well against a Nature's Prophet, so maybe they could have picked up for themselves, but also maybe a little worried about a Clockwork Initiate and then a Nature's Prophet TPing in on the side. Shadow Demon going to be taken out by Quetzal, just a really annoying hero overall. He's a great defensive tri-lane hero, so if you go aggro against a Shadow Demon, there's a good chance things may not go how you planned, so maybe taking him out for that reason. But as far as Quetzal's concerned, actually both teams for the matter, lane's not really revealed right now, so we'll see how that develops. Nyx Assassin taken out by Team Magikarp, a hero that's being let through a lot these days. A lot of people not really that worried about him as long as you do well in the tri-lane or delay Nyx's level 6 and or carry sentries for when he is 6 and, you know, stay sort of grouped up, don't get picked. He's not so hard to play against, but I suppose his Vendetta does provide a bit of map control for the team that has him. So it does force a style of play a little bit to be pretty passive, to be grouped together. Not quite as much as the Wisp, which was why Wisp is sort of always a first round band. Quap here, taken out as the possible mid for Team Magikarp as Quetzal bans it. Probably a wise choice. I'm thinking Alchemist is going to go mid just because I see it so often these days, and it would do well against a Dragonite, assuming he goes mid. I'd actually like Dragon Knight in a safe lane this game because he gets some good levels. A defensive safe lane Dragon Knight hits level 6. He's got that poison. Nature's Prophet comes in, also probably level 6 or 5 with a couple levels of Nature's Call. If they can push down, let's see, they're Radiant. So in this case, they'll be pushing bot if it's the safe lane. Get those towers very quick succession around the 5-6 minute mark. Maybe a little slower, maybe like 7-8 minute mark of Dragon Knight needs that 6. So there's a lot of potential push here. If we see a Leshrac picked up to maybe synergize with this Rubik here, then definitely expect a pretty crazy push strat. Or even Dragon Knight alone bot, Nature's Prophet mid. Just saw a Nature's Prophet mid, and the Audi aim is first. Top of the line match, played by Zayeth. He played one hell of a Nature's Prophet that game, so make sure to check out that VOD. And he did go mid, and it worked quite well. But they're going to pick up the Gyrocopter here, who actually could be the mid, could be the safe lane carry. Maybe they could go aggressive depending on Quetzal's 5th pickup here. It's going to be another support, so we'll see what they try to do. And I don't even think I mentioned the Puck pick here. So Team Magikarp, they pick up Puck. Now I'm saddened. I don't think Alchemist will be going in the mid lane. Puck, if he goes against Dragon Knight, may have a hard time actually taking the Dragon Knight down, but should be able to get a very good amount of farm by, and also harassing out the Dragon Knight pretty easily, or at least zoning him a little bit. I expect Dragon Knight to still get a sizable amount of farm. If Gyro goes against Puck, I think that favors Gyro just a little bit more, because if Puck ever gets aggressive, Gyro's got that Rocket Barrage. If Puck isn't too careful, we'll die immediately, because Puck is a squishy little girl. And that pretty much sums Puck up. Jakiro here picked up as a very good defensive tri-lane hero if they want to go that way. If they want a greedy Alchemist with Greevil's Greed just farming away in that safe lane, they could put Jakiro with him and then pick up another support for that as well. Darkseer in the off lane and or jungle and Puck middle for Team Magikarp. And then maybe worried about just a jungler, because it would be hard to gank an Alk Jakiro. They're both strength heroes, they're both very tanky, with pretty good defensive abilities, so Enigma taken out as a potential jungler. So probably a good ban, actually. There's not an insane amount of stuns on Quetzal's, but there is Rubik. His steal does go through BKB, so even if Enigma picks up a BKB, Rubik can always just steal it. So I don't know if they would necessarily have picked Enigma. We will see pretty soon here if they do decide to take that jungler route, like Quetzal is potentially worried about. Also leads me to think that Nature's Prophet will be in the jungle now as well. And Quetzal here spending some time for their last pickup. I also believe, I don't want to sound ignorant, but I think Quetzal is a currency, and I'm assuming that's what their logo is, but I'm like 90% on that. Someone should Wikipedia it for me. Or for yourself. I think a Leshrac would actually bode well for this pickup. A lot of push pretty early on. Leshrac is a little squishy, but if you get a couple levels on him, he won't die all that easily. He'd be able to pump out a ton of damage with the Edict. Or the Lightning Bolt, but I think Edict a better choice here, just to push with Nature's Prophet. Dragon Knight, Gyrocopter also able to push pretty fast with the Flak Cannon. Would be a pretty hard matchup for Team Magikarp early on, although breaking the high ground's a different story. They've got the Acid Spray, which makes pushing kind of difficult. The Dream Coil there to hold everyone in place, set them up for that Darkseer, get a nice wall vacuum off. They got the Ice Path Macro Pyre. There's a whole lot of AoE team damage on the side of Team Magikarp, so I guess it's Quetzal's choice if they really want to, if they want to pick a Lesh and go face first into that team fight from Team Magikarp around, let's say maybe the 15-minute mark. Oh, it looks like they're going to pick up an SK though, so a big ult on their side, and SK actually not so bad at split pushing if you pick up that Caustic Finale. Are fortunate enough to have an early Blink Dagger on SK with Sandstorm. You can escape from a lot of stuff, so we'll see how that works out. Or maybe they just want to lane him against Alchemist. I don't know, probably just going to be supporting Dragon Knight, Rubik, Sand King, Gyro mid, Nature's Prophet either offlane or just abandoning is what I'm envisioning.
10 seconds.
But now it's time for Team Magikarp's final pickup here. Looks to be another support. Dipping into the reserve time now. They got a whole lot left. Looks like Quetzal took a while to pick up that Sand King. who is a really good pick, but he's definitely a hero that is a little bit dependent on farms, such as Mana Boots, Blink Dagger, kind of like an ES, is also very much reliable on those two items to get going. So playing from behind on a Sand King, I think is somewhat difficult, but we'll see how that works out for them. They have the big pushing lineup, so potential to get a lot of towers and a lot of tower gold for the Sand King to get into those big items earlier than, you know, not getting those towers. So we'll see how that goes, and Team Magikarp looks like they are going to pick up the Vengeful Spirit as their last pick. So just more armor, I guess. Or not armor, sorry. The Vengeance Aura, more damage coming out from everyone. Namely the Alchemist, I would suppose. And also, it goes well with the armor reduction, the Wave of Terror combined with Acid Spray, and later an Assault Cuirass on Alchemist. That's going to be a lot of armor reduction, so probably a little bit of what they're thinking there. Also maybe swapping people in and out of the wall or Macropyre or whatnot. And now we are into the game. Let me check my overlays real fast. Looks like we're all good. So a smoke is picked up here by Rubik.
You really should prepare for battle.
Forget that. So Team Magikarp on the Dire. Hungry Magikarp buying that courier up, getting some wards, playing the Jakiro. We'll see where they're going. Looks like it's going to be top defensive lane. Tasty Magikarp with the sentries and consumables as well. On the Vengeful Spirit, we got Rot, I don't know. Going mid on the Puck has got the Null Talisman. Looks like Hungry Magikarp pulled him some Tangos and some Iron Branches, so normally you are pulled some regen if you go for the Null Talisman build to get those last hits over the DK. And then Freddy Magikarp here on the Alchemist, standard defensive tri-lane builds. And last but not least, for Team Magikarp, we've got Frenzy on the off-lane Darkseer. Looks like he will be going against the duo lane as Nature's Prophet is jungling. But over to the Radiant on the side of Quetzal, we've got Ermo on the Sand King buying up those wards. Already warded the top rune, now heading bot. Oh yeah, he'll be in the tri-lane, so not a dual lane, excuse me. Capitalism here on the Gyrocopter. Rocket Barrage already skilled up on him, and again, a standard tri-lane build. Going towards that Bass, we've got Terret here on the Rubik, picking up them sentries and a lot of regen. Naz G going in the mid lane, looks like going for a pretty fast battle build, I would think. So that's going to be on the Dragonite, and last but not least, Motif here on the side of Quetzal. Looks like he is going to be jungling, so the top lane is abandoned to an Alchemist. And I think with that, they're going to have to ramp up the push pretty early. DK finds himself in the mid lane, going to be going up against Puck, so that was pretty expected from the draft. And Gyrocopter going to be in the bot lane. I don't really know, I guess, who this lane favors the most. I think DK will do okay. He doesn't have his buddy Treant to just pump living armor on him, but he is very tanky, a couple levels in Dragon Blood. He'll do fine. And the new logo of Dragon Blood, by the way, looking really cool. So that lane will be interesting. We'll check in a little later. So Fratty sees his lanes abandoned, goes Grievel's Greed, level 1. Going to be getting a lot of farm and a lot of gold that way. Terret already working on the pools in the defensive tri-lane. Looks like the off lane is also going to be abandoned, so Frenzy going to be in the top lane right now. And I think that's a good way to play it. Nature's Prophet can jungle this game and get a decently fast Midas, but it will be pretty hard for him to gank early on, as there's 4 heroes centered around the Dire jungle right now. So if he does gank, there's a good chance he will be going down, as there's a lot of backup unless he brings his team with him, and even Puck isn't so far away. Has a haste rune or something that's going to be 5 together in about 10 seconds. So hard for Nature's Prophet to gank a lot early, but with the bottom lane abandoned, they should be able to push it pretty fast. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Frenzy rotating back down after he gets a couple levels in the jungle just to repel the push that will be coming from Quetzal with the level 3, level 4 Ion Shells. Should be enough to definitely slow it down a lot. And then that being said, let's see, Team Magikarp, do they have a lot of push? They've got the armor reduction, so they can take out creep waves extremely fast. Get a point in Liquid Fire on Hungry Magikarp. We might even see the first tower going to Team Magikarp in the top lane, if Darkseer can defend that bot with the Ion Shells. Maybe time to check into the CS, and now we've got Gyrocopter sitting at 11, so free farming like a champ in his abandoned lane. Darkseer at 11 in the jungle, so doing what Darkseers do, stacking up this big camp, being very efficient with the Ion Shell, and getting a lot of golden levels that way, so jungling very well, going to have a fast mech. Dragonite actually getting the first rune, going to pick up the haste bot. So pretty interesting. I would expect Puck to have a lot better of room control, but DK does get the bottle. He picks up a haste. Puck's bottle's coming out now, so that's 12 last hits on the Puck, as he didn't go a very fast bottle build at all. So doing really well in the mid lane. DK at 7. We'll see if the lack of farm that this DK will get will hurt them later in the game, but I think they really just want the levels on this DK to then start pushing. Tasty Magikarp stacking up in his jungle as well as with Hungry. Never realized their names were Hungry and Tasty, and they kind of synergize a little bit. But doing a good job of getting levels on themselves. Level 3, both around level 3, and the Alchemist here, also level 3. See how the Gyrocopter's doing in terms of levels. He's going to be at level 4, so a pretty slow farm-centered game so far. I expect once a couple levels are out, to everyone maybe start pushing like crazy. If we check the net worth, let's see where Alchemist is at. 1471. Where were his last hits? 16? So yeah, he's faring pretty well. And Darkseer just being a boss at this jungle with 31 last hits. Looks like, I don't know what Motif started with. He's got the Bass now and no gold. What has he got on the Courier? He's got gloves of haste. So he's working towards the Midas. Probably 7 or 8 minute Midas if he's not going to gank anything. And the push already mounting on the top lane. The bottom tower on the Dire side has yet to be pushed in at all. The top tier 1 already taking quite a bit of damage. Looks like 2 in Greevil's Greed, 1 in Acid Spray, and 1 in Unstable. The Acid Spray probably just the push. I'd actually maybe expect him to get a couple in Acid Spray over Unstable, but we'll see what he does. And what he builds. Usually when you're doing really well, you could go Midas. I'm kind of against that. Ooh, actually, maybe we can have some action in the bot lane. Has Quetzal's Airmo and Terret have smoked up. They're looking to push this Darkseer behind the tower, maybe Gyrocopter pushing back and then jump on him. DK is there as well. What level is DK? He's level 5, not quite level 6 yet. So Frenzy, he actually is aware. He's going to TP out. That wastes a ton of time. So Nazgul, I'm just calling Nazgul. He wastes a ton of time. He's down here to push anyway, as it looks like. I thought I heard Nature's Prophet TPing. Nature's Prophet not TPing, so now they're trying to put some damage on this tower. It's down to half health. The top tier 1 tower already down, so it looks like, yes, Team Magikarp was able to push that down first. So doing a good job there. Some of Quetzal getting pretty low. Jakira's Liquid Fire doing quite a bit of damage, harassing him back. I don't think they should fight here. They're all about half health, even though there's just 2 heroes there. But I guess the others aren't far behind. Darkseer TPing, or running back down, rather. And let's see, Puck level 6 now. Dragon Knight only level 5. That rotation kind of hurt him a little bit. They didn't even get the tower yet, so half health tower. And now the forces have mounted in the bot lane. Defensive supports for Team Magikarp realizing they don't really need to be in the top lane as it's uncontested. Freddy Magikarp getting enough farm. They already got the tower as well, so even makes it a little harder for them to gank up there. Is Quetzal. Especially if he's got good lane control. Keep the lane by his tower. They can't even TP to the tier 1, so if they want to gank, they have to invest quite a bit of time TPing to the tier 2, running up there. And then Team Magikarp maybe looking to group up in the bot. Slow down this Gyros farm. He's been doing quite well so far. He's at 29 last hits. So tied up with Alchemist right now, but with Greevil's Greed. We can see Alchemist here. 3,000 in net worth. He's about 1,000 over Capitalism with the same last hit, so that just shows you how strong Greevil's Greed really is. So doing a great job there. Dragon Knight is almost 6, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Quetzal grouping up to push down towers after that. Puck, though, is level 6. Darkseer is really the level that's going to matter most for Team Magikarp. When he gets around 9, picks up level 1 in wall, and especially 11 once he has 2 in wall, that's really when it's going to get hard for Quetzal to just group up. Unless they pick him off right here. This will be a nice pick off here. Well chain stunned, waited for the surge, but 2 points in surge, so it lasts a little longer, and that 2 points in surge, that's why you do it right there. It'll save your life. Wow. And nighttime vision not being Motif's friend right there, as he can't land the Sprout. That Sprout, I think, would have been the death of Frenzy, and that would have been a really nice pickoff. But still, no first blood drawn yet at 7 minutes. As I say that, Nazgy in the mid lane, stunned up, Ice Path, Silence, everything dropped right now. He's going to go down, so Rote on the Puck, going to pick up that kill. So as I was saying it, first blood is drawn in the mid lane, going the way of Puck. So Puck on the way to an 8-minute Blink Dagger, just a couple more last hits. Boots 1 and a Blink Dagger, as well as a bottle. So Puck having a nice game. Very nice game. Frenzy, as we just saw, didn't die in the bot lane. He's getting close to picking up 1 level on his ult, and then with that ult and Dream Coil, really the team fight for Team Magikarp going to get pretty dangerous. And there's that Blink Dagger even earlier than 8 minutes, 7:40. And then here's Airmo on the Sand King. He's got wards, he's got no boots. And let's check the gold graph. I don't really... Wow, that's a bigger gold lead than I would have thought. Almost 5,000 gold lead right now, 2,000, 3,000 XP lead, so Team Magikarp with a pretty substantial early game lead. And like I said in the draft, playing from behind on an SK isn't the easiest thing to do. It's 8 minutes in, he's not 6, he's only level 3, which the level is to be expected, but doesn't even have boots 1. He's got no kills, got no assists, and that's gonna hurt him for a little while throughout this game. Surging up, Team Magikarp, they're trying to go on capitalism. Rubik with a stun on Darkseer, keeping him delayed a little bit. The call down goes. Frenzy's still alive. That's going to be a lot of XP there as well. Going after Terret now, going to get stunned up by Hungry Magikarp. I think Frenzy's got this. Going to surge away actually from Airmo. Doesn't want to get picked off there. Motif comes in on the Nature's Prophet. So picking up rebuttal kill there, I guess. They take out Jakiro. They take out Vengeful Spirit. So 2 supports die for the price of a carry. Is it worth it? I don't know. Personally, killing a carry is great, but 2 deaths, that hands over a lot of experience early on. We can look at the graphs, and we see them actually turn into the favor of Quetzal, so I think the answer with scientific backup would be that it was probably not worth it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And there's the Hand of Midas on Nature's Prophet, so a little more delayed than I thought it would be. I was thinking around 8 minutes. He does pick it up. Maybe had it for a while as he's already at 400 more gold. That could have been due to the kill though, so yeah. Picks it up at 9 minutes. It's not a terrible timing. You can get it a little later in Nature's Prophet as you're kind of just jungling, AFK farming as a while, TPing in when needed, so you can catch up. Let's not forget that Fratty Magikarp here did also go Hand of Midas, so check out his net worth right now, 4,800. Then Puck also on Team Magikarp, 4,400, and then so that's Rote, and then Darkseer being played by Frenzy. Actually, and a bit of a scrap in the bot lane. Will he pick up a kill on Terret? It doesn't look like he will. Motif gonna TP in there, get another assist off of that. Terret even picks up that kill, so doing a little bit better. That gets SK up to 4. Rubik got that kill. He's got boots. He's got mana boots and 40 gold and level 7. So he's doing a good job. He can already steal spells right now, and there's a lot of big ones to steal. He's got Wall, Dream Coil, Ice Path. Ice Path is going to be the easiest to steal. Also Magic Missile. So really everyone on Team Magikarp offers up a good spell that Rubik, being played by Terret, is going to want to get his hands on. So we'll see how well he can do throughout the game, stealing some spells. The push that I thought would be a little more present by Quetzal. They still haven't managed to get the bot tier 1 tower. And yeah, the top's been down for a long time. And the mid at half health, and even the bot getting pretty low. As Fratty is still just continuing to free farm. He's up to almost 2k gold now off of that Midas. So he'll have a Shadow Blade at this rate in just a couple more minutes. And that'll be that'll really start the team fight. That'll be their initiate into the team fight. Alchemist goes in, drops a big stun. Ideally gets it on 1 or 2, and then you got the Dream Coil Wall. There's just a ton of team fight disruption, team fight control coming out of Team Magikarp, and I'm a little worried for Quetzal. But we'll see how good they can do. They do, or will, eventually have the Epicenter, which is a great defensive ult if you're sitting on the fringe of a team fight, to be used to really turn the tides. And maybe you're going to get a pick off here on Hungry Magikarp, overextending just a little bit. Or maybe not overextending, but just lagging behind the rest of his team on the retreat. So going to get picked off there. But even so, it's buying so much time for Fratty Magikarp. The TP finally coming out now. And who's that going to be? It's going to be Nazgul. He's going to ult up. Use that Dragon Tail. He's got the poison on Fratty Magikarp. So Magikarp with a stun, gonna throw it and gonna run. So he's gonna be just fine. Popped his ult, can probably go jungle. And yes, he picks up the Claymore, so it looks like he will be going Shadow Blade. And the bot lane, a nice initiation out from Rubik with the stolen Ice Path. Airmo goes down though, trying to get past this tower. Frenzy TPing in, getting pretty low. Everyone pretty low actually right now. Gyrocopter goes down, so a 2-for-2 trade at the bot tower, which still stands. It's also in deny range. Motif is trying to get it, but I think it's going to go down. The Macro Fire is dropped. He does last hit the tower, but I don't know if it was really that worth it. Terret now facing off against Jakiro, but with no mana, gonna have to definitely back off from that. So Frenzy lives, which is important for him. Gets some levels off the deaths and assists there. So he's up to level 9 now, so 2 more levels for him. He picks up the ult. Looks like that may be around the 15-minute mark, which is when I predicted predicted. Whatever. Which is when I said in the draft that I thought Team Magikarp would have the levels like up on the Darkseer, the item, the blink on the puck, which came actually in half that time, where they'll get the team fight going with that level 2 wall. And see Dragonite with yet another rune, picking up a DD right now. Some items were just purchased, but I kind of missed them. What were they? Treads on DK, so the courier just delivers those. What are the other big items that came out here? Looks like Frenzy working towards a mech. Not really that close. Doesn't have a buckler or a headdress right now, just the parts for both at the moment. Looks like he can finish one of the two currently with the amount of gold he's got. Capitalism here with an Ogre Club, rushing a BKB, wisely so, given all the team fight and magic damage that's going to come out early. But not too far behind that magic damage will be Fratty here. He's farming up a Storm right now. He's 2,000 gold ahead of the next person in net worth, which is on his team. He's then 2,500 gold ahead of Nature's Prophet on the other team, who is, what's he building? He's got a Midas, he's got Treads. Might have been one of the items that popped up. I would assume he is also working towards a Shadow Blade. It makes the split pushing just a little bit safer, as there is a Puck with a Blink and a Dream Coil, and Puck actually has two abilities, both Dream Coil and the Silence, that will cancel the TP out. So Puck, a good hero to pick up, especially if you get a Blink early against Nature's Prophet. Darkseer, same thing. Surge Vacuum, Lothar's or Shadow Blade, actually top in a bit of a scruff up here. Fratty being initiated upon. They've popped dust on him. The Sprout goes off. It's gonna miss. He's in his ult form. He's pretty tanky, but not tanky enough for 4 heroes from Quetzal showed up. They take down Fratty Magikarp. Capitalism on the Gyrocopter actually picks up the kill. So 600 off of the Mithril Hammer, and then another 13 after that. So, or 1,300 rather. So getting closer to the BKB, which will be big. Push in the mid lane by Magikarp, excuse me. The Dream Coil was dropped. Nazgul looks like he's going to go down. Terret getting pretty low on the backlines as well, but he is pretty far away. Ice Path goes out to Zone, doesn't really hit anyone. Now Hungry Magikarp fleeing the scene. No one has died here in the mid lane conflict yet, besides the members of Quetzal. So 2 go down, so it's a 2-for-0 trade in the mid lane fight at the tier 1 tower. And prior to that, we just saw the Alchemist get picked off, so I guess a 1-for-2 trade if you want to put it that way. With Magikarp coming out on top of that, the Shadow Blade is finished up on Fratty as he respawns. It looks like he's going to engage, but everyone kind of aware of that. That was a good awareness by Quetzal not to be near that tower or near the ledge in the mid lane to potentially get picked off there. That would have been a huge kill for Team Magikarp, and definitely another tower. But it looks like they will be able to hold on to this tower for a little bit longer. Dire's top tower goes down. Looks like the siege unit's just going to take that down. So there's a tower there, and the tower in the bot lane was killed by Nature's Prophet, who sacrificed his life for it. So there's 2 towers that Quetzal has got, and the 2 towers top lane that Team Magikarp has picked up. So even on towers right now, almost even on kills, 8-7 Team Magikarp with a bit of an advantage. Check out the gold graph, 2,000, let's say 3,000 gold lead for Team Magikarp, which is almost all on Fratty on the Alchemist, and then 4,000 experience lead. So again, still with a pretty sizable lead this early on in the game. If those numbers stay the same, of course, as time goes on, it will be much less of a lead, but Airmo, level 6, he's got the epicenter. They're gearing up to push this tower here, whereas Puck is waiting on that ledge. Jakiro's there behind the tower, Darkseer in the bot lane, so the wall won't be present. Fratty Magikarp looks like he's going to TP down into the mid lane. So most here, Motif trying to defend off this tower. Darkseer just doing that creep skipping, wants to get the bot tier 2, or the bot tier 1, excuse me, by the creep skipping. Nature's Prophet, though, might be able to hold it off. He's attacking pretty fast, hits decently hard, should be able to clear this wave without his tower taking any damage, and as a result, I think Frenzy might want to run out of here. No, he's got his teammate coming down here with the Shadow Blade. The stun goes off. It's going to be about a 2-3 second stun. The vacuum over as well into the Ion Shell. Nice play by Frenzy to show up there. And a nice first kill with that Shadow Blade Alchemist, which is what you want to do. And in the mid lane, we got a Dream Coil dropped on Nazgul, swapped back as well, tried to get him into the Ice Path, didn't quite go. The Dual Breath actually might be enough to take out this SK. He uses the wand, gets a little bit of health, Hungry, taking some tower hits, but he's a tank of Jakira, looks like he will live. The bottom tower is going to go down, DK being chased up as well, so looks like Hungry drops as well as Airmo, so 1-for-1 at the moment. Nature's Prophet picked off prior to that. Terret in a bit of trouble here, Frenzy with a level 4 Ion Shell. Going to be doing a lot of damage there. The Magic Missile goes off. They're going to stun up Rubik, so nice play by the Darkseer to surge up the Oh god, the Vengeful Spirit to make sure that kill is completely insured. Tasty Magikarp gets stunned up, but Gyrocopter miles and miles away. Looks like they'll be fine. So a good trade. It was 8-7 prior to that engagement with the kill bot, and then the fight in the mid lane that takes it to 12 and 8. So it looks like 4 kills to 1. The tower still stands. I didn't get the tower yet. However, during that, the tier 1 bottom went down. So Team Magikarp now, they've got 3 towers compared to the 2 that Quetzal has already taken. Fratty's still just farming up. It looks like he picks up a Mithril Hammer. So that could be a BKB, it could be a Deso, that'd be kind of weird, but maybe rolling with that armor reduction strat as we see Vengeful picking up a Medallion of Courage. And it can also be, what did I say? It could be a Maelstrom as well. It's usually a pretty popular item on this, but anyway, team fighting in the middle. Dream Coil dropped. Puck gonna die from this? No, barely lives. Actually, swap back, doesn't matter. Motif is there, gonna pick him off, but a 4-man wall into an Ice Path. The call down is thrown out, but I think that's a little too late in this team fight. Gyrocopter goes down, so Capitalism down for the count right now. The stun goes off on Nazgul. Looks like that will be enough. The magic missile there by Tasty Magikarp going to be enough to seal the deal. So picking up that kill, 3-1 engagement in the mid lane. Rotate with a pretty ballsy initiate, but it looks like it paid off in the end. And a really nice wall vacuum on top of a Ice Path by Hungry and Frenzy. So well played there. And that's really the team fight that I've kind of been harping on this whole game, which seems very scary. And is very scary. So doing a good job there, pushing their advantage that they've had in the early game, and we can see taking more of an advantage as a result, since it's been going well for them. Approaching a 10k gold advantage, already over a 10k XP advantage. So now, according to Valve, I kept mentioning this in the game previously, that is potential for a big comeback. I don't really know where they came up with that figure, but it seems like a pretty reasonable amount to be a big comeback starting at that 10,000 mark. And Alchemist I saw picked up a big item. So yeah, it is going to be the BKB. So playing it safe this game, not going crazy aggressive items like a Maelstrom or straight into an AC. Going to pick up the BKB to make sure. Actually, that's the greatest pickup. Epicenter not going to do any damage. Dragonite can't stun him. They have no answer besides the slow from Gyrocopter's ult going through magic immunity. They really have no answer for BKB to Alchemist right now. And with so much other disruptions going on, the wall, the magic missile stuns, Ice Path, Macropyres, Dream Coil, silences, it's just going to be so hard to sit there and focus and right-click down an Alchemist. That's definitely just the pickup they should have got to continue to press their advantage. And speaking of pressing advantages, they're going for the Roche. They've got the Medallion of Courage, so Tasty picking it up. It's a great item regardless, but definitely helps with Roche, so probably why I picked it up there. Looks like the mech. I just saw that finished on Darkseer, so the mechanism is up. He's got a Hood of Defiance as well, but as that's going on, Quetzal smoked up. They want to contest this. Airmo checks up the hill blind, gets silenced immediately. Gonna Sandstorm to get an Epicenter off, but the wall and Macropyre going off over here. Fratty with the BKB. Courier delivering some items. Still hasn't died. Good job, Courier. Trying to help that team out as much as he can. Fratty Magikarp though, the BKB runs out. Pops the Shadow Blade. The missile is there. It's not gonna hit anything. Looks like Nazgul will go down. Puck picking up that kill. And they're trying to chase the Straggler. Capitalism running away here. Looks like he's a little too far off. So they pick off the Roche around the 20-minute, 30-second mark. They take a great team fight. 3-for-0 trade, I believe. I don't think anyone was forced to buy back. Nope. And the net worth of Fratty is skyrocketing now, approaching 13k. Almost double his own teammate. And then almost double Nature's Prophet. So you got 3 of the highest net worths for Team Magikarp, and then followed up by some of Quetzal. So ooh, the Quetzal though, getting a tower, not going to be denied, so Nature's Prophet split push, still being fairly effective. He did go the Shadow Blade, so it's the safer split pushing. It's not as fast as, say, picking up a Maelstrom right away with those procs. You will push like a boss, but you will probably get killed, especially against this team with the Shadow Blade Alk, and then the Puck also with the very early Blink Dagger, and 2,000 gold away from a Sheep Stick, so gonna be onto that item, which is gonna be huge pretty soon. Looks like Terret has picked up a cloak just for some magic resist for himself, maybe turning it into a pipe. Aramo's got the mana boots, or the arcane boots. He's working towards a blink. I would assume he's at 700 gold, so, you know, with 1,500 off, 1,400 off, doing pretty well. Considering, you know, he's been playing from behind. He's level 8, would like to be level 11 for level 2 Epicenter. Maybe, yeah, they're looking for a smoke gank here. The smoke's on the courier. Passes it off to Airmo right now. DK's next item, most likely going to just be a BKB. Gyro's just finished his. They probably want that BKB before they smoke just to ensure a much higher chance of winning. Team Magikarp, they don't have a huge answer for the BKB either, besides the fact that they've got a lot of levels, a big level advantage. They're a little tankier. They've got a lot of strength heroes. And armor reduction, so they can probably survive and kill the rest of Quetzal while Gyrocopter is, you know, in the BKB. I would think probably what they're going for here. We'll see how that works out for them though, as looks like Quetzal's grouped up top, supports as well as Dragonite here smoked up behind, Capitalism even more behind that, maybe trying to bait out the kill on Furion here. It doesn't look like Team Magikarp's gonna take that though. Rote's got a TP, it's on cooldown. Looks like they may just trade tier 2 for a tier 2 here. Or I think Team Magikarp can push a little faster right now. Probably get this tier 2 and then TP back to defend their own. We'll see what happens though. All 5 on the Dire in the Radiant jungle and all 5 on the Radiant in the Dire jungle, so pretty much as far away as the two teams could get. Quetzal probably not really wanting to team fight right now, just looking for a pickoff. Gonna decide to take this trade instead. They've got a lot of push power on their own. I don't think Dragonite needs to use his ult. He needs that for the team fight, or there's no chance. So the tower goes down. They could pop Fortify and go back, but maybe gonna try to force it back anyways. Fighting on the high ground. There's no pipe. Yo, there is a pipe actually. Darkseer has a pipe. They could pipe this wave and go in for the high ground breach at only 24 minutes. So Magikarp playing a solid game right now. The call down is there. Gyrocopter with the BKB. Rubik yet to have a spell in his arsenal right now. Let's see if he takes anything. The call down goes down on 1, so somewhat wasted. There's an Aegis on Fratty as well, so next wave, the pipe was not used. They could pipe this wave and go up. See what they decide to do. Probably keep an eye on SK. Let's see if he can get a good epicenter off. As the tier 3 tower is going to go down, he stuns up, channeling the epicenter. Will it get canceled? It won't. He gets the epicenter off, although he only hits 1 with it, and it's a Jakiro. He doesn't even go down. Fratty, he's piped up. Hasn't died yet, still has the Aegis, doing a lot of damage. Airmo's going to miss the stun. Nature's Prophet dies, going to buy back. The Rack's now in a lot of trouble. A zoning wall thrown out by Frenzy. Maybe could have just used it for a team fight, but they can't really run through that, contest this, so the Rax is going to go down at the 25-minute mark. And even a Dragonite here, applying the poison to the Rax as an illusion, which is kind of funny. And Airmo gets picked off. I'm not sure what he was doing right there. Maybe didn't expect the Sentry Ward from the Dire. And everyone going to TP out after taking the Rax. Don't want to die if they don't have to, and everyone going to get out safely, actually. So, well played there by Magikarp. Looks like Motif went back top upon dying. I don't know if he bought back to go top. It looks like he did. He bought back to go top. He gets the tier 3 tower. So that's about, I mean, oh wow. And a lot of damage on the melee Rax here. So pretty good job by Motif to try to make the best of that. He wasn't able to get a Rax. If he got a Rax, that would actually have been a pretty poor trade, I think, for Team Magikarp. Because you never want to go late against that Nature's Prophet split push, where he can just backdoor and make the trades even when they really shouldn't be. But they're still exposed Rax. You know, next team fight, if Quetzal just plays really, really defensively at their mid or their top, Nature's Prophet may be able to pick off those. I don't think he's got enough damage to backdoor or anything yet with just the Lothars, but he's on 2,700 gold, and I think his next item, I would say Sheepstick, just so that way you do have an answer for Alk. You can sheep him up and just right-click him down, hopefully. That being said, he's still very tanky. He's got an AC already, so AC, BKB, Lothars, Phase Boots, Midas at 26 minutes. He's having one heck of a game, 17,000 net worth right now. Darkseer at 10 with the mech and a pipe. 4 staff even on Tasty Magikarp. Blink, Sheepstick is done if Rote wants to buy it now. Drums, Mana Boots on Jakiro. So lots and lots of core items up for Team Magikarp, plus some. Airmo almost to a Blink Dagger, which will be really big, but they lost the rack, so it's a little unfortunate. But still in this game with that, well, maybe not level 1 with the Darkseer with the pipe. Level 1 Epicenter, that is. Gonna be pretty hard for Airmo to do any sorts of crazy damage, even with a perfect alt stun. Gyrocopter not hitting for that much either, with just a BKB. Aquila, Wraithband, Phase, so I mean, it hits for, I can't do math. 140 right now, I suppose. 140, 150. And the push is already being mounted again by Team Magikarp. Going into the top lane, so tier 2, tier 3 tower. Taking a lot of damage. Fratty doesn't have an Aegis this time, but he doesn't really care. He's extremely tanky with the AC. Pops the BKB, gets the tower. The wall goes off on capitalism. Can't even use his BKB. DK's down as well. So really nice pickoffs. Airmo as well. Rubik falling quickly after that. Rubik buying back, as well as Airmo buying back. Didn't even get off his ult, but that's going to be no chance of a Blink Dagger this game, as the second lane of Rax about to go down, as Team Magikarp really pushing relentlessly, as Airmo again gets picked off, just throwing everything he had at it to delay it somewhat, but I think at this point I wouldn't be too surprised if the GG is getting called, and there it is. Airmo calls it out. So Team Magikarp with a very strong lineup for the team fight in the mid to late, even early mid to late. Pretty much just needed level 11 on this Darkseer. Alchemist was free farming, arguably going to have a bigger impact than a Gyrocopter who's free farming just because of the Greevil's Greed. Gets the Shadow Blade up, team fights with his team. Wins the team fights, gets an assault, gets a BKB, super fast. It's really hard to deal with that. They even took an early Roche. So a nice strategy, just perfectly planned out here by Team Magikarp. Quetzal, they wanted to go pushing, I think, with the DK, you know, hit 6 in the mid lane, Nature's Prophet, Gyro, you can push the bot lane. But Darkseer here, even though it was the first pick, a lot of times you underestimate how much Ion Shell can do when it's level 2, level 3. Come down to that lane, it kills Treant super fast, it's really hard to push against. You feel like you're hitting a wall. You can't really get a lot done after that. And then the team fight for Team Magikarp kicks in because you couldn't push fast enough or gank enough when they were still separated. And that's the game. So a quick recap there of it, I guess. Thanks for watching, if anyone is. I'm Helium from FMBP Dota. Check me out, twitch.tv/FMBP Dota or youtube.com/FMBP Dota. Congratulations to Team Magikarp winning this show match of Week 5. I'll be bringing you the next show match, Week 6. Should be Monday night next week around the same time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Catch you next time.